Hi, I'm Kjessie.
Hi, I'm Andre.
Welcome to our first ever kitchen table conversations. We're excited to introduce ourselves and tell you what we're doing with Multicultural Family Hub. Kitchen Table Conversations is part of Multicultural Family Hub, which we are creating. So we are starting Multicultural Family Hub because it's something that we've needed. So, our journey with this started about 7 years ago when I was at an ultrasound. I was 20 weeks pregnant. We had our cute little 2-year-old with us, and the ultrasound technician said, "Oh, look, there they are." And Andre says, "What's they? Like the arms? What do you mean they?" She's like, "Oh, you don't know. You're having twins." And I started laugh crying, and we were both in such shock, and it just totally spun our worlds around because having twins is unlike anything else, and it's such a heavy lift demand, both physically and mentally, just so it can be so exhausting. And Andre and I both, like, we've worked in education, we've been around kids, we were teachers, my parents live close, so we still had a ton of support. But we found ourselves just within our relationship and our family not having the tools to create the family that we wanted and the family culture, and just falling back on those default things that we had both grown up with, that our cultures had given us and we hadn't necessarily identified.
Yeah, so this gave us an opportunity. We're learners, so we kind of started to gather strategies, information, tools, and techniques individually. Each kind of went on our journey. And then as we did that, we realized that we had kind of put together a variety of things that were unique to our family and that were unique to what our kids needed, but also what Kjessie and I needed as individuals. And so we weren't able to necessarily fall back on the culture we had inherited in terms of parenting and certain things. So we kind of were able to then create what we needed to match our unique family. Just like your family is very unique. And so in doing that, we then kind of came to a realization of like, wow, wouldn't it be great if another family didn't have to go on a very long 2 to 3 year journey to do this, but they could have access to the skills and the tools and hear about what other families are doing in a community. And that's what kind of spurs to be like, we're going to create the community that we would have loved and wish we had, and would have saved us a lot of time and maybe a lot of stress and a lot of tension years ago.
Yeah, we recognized that there is not a lot of space for multicultural families to connect, and that we have really unique journeys and run up within our families against each other's cultures and might not have the tools to identify them. And just if we could talk to one another, because there is so much wisdom out there, um, that we have, and there's no really place to connect. So we are creating the thing that we wish we had.
Mhm.
So the Multicultural Family Hub, we are going to start launching that in January as an online community where we can connect with one another. In that space, Andre and I will be offering group coaching and monthly
Mhm.
workshops, some daily inspiration, and just like fun things that we all get to share about our culture, but most importantly, connect to one another to share the resources that we've already gleaned. I'm sure you're like us and constantly listening to podcasts and reading books and trying to figure out what works for you and your family. And we also found that the podcasts and books are things that are in our heads. But for me personally, my journey has been very much about figuring out what's in my body, because I would get stuck on things and keep repeating cycles and realizing that those things I couldn't change with my thoughts. So, Andre and I have developed this really cool holistic approach involving mind, body, and spirit to create family wellness. And we're so excited to share that with you. So, these kitchen table conversations are a piece of Multicultural Family Hub.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a piece that we want to share with you guys so that it also allows and creates a space for us to learn together. One of the things that I and Chessie have realized is that, learning through the stories of others is just an incredible modality.
Mm.
It's one thing to read something, it's one thing to even to maybe take a class on something. It's another thing to hear someone's lived experience in real time, hear them process the experience and come up with their unique beautiful individual solution to that and see yourself reflected in that. And so it's a great space to not just learn, but to listen, to practice, to apply, and then come back to. And so that's what the kitchen table conversation, it's going to be. That's the first piece of that community is here's a story. And we're the ones sharing this first story, but then you guys get to take the story, give us feedback, share your story, and we get to have this beautiful dialogue in real time around things that are happening to us every week. With three kids, just like your family, there is something to talk about daily.
The stories are
Um,
funny. They're
yeah,
almost
and
always
being a
funny.
multicultural family, there's a lot of things that come up that wow, we can tie that into our to culture, whether it's a movie we just saw, whether it's an experience a kid had at their dance class or out in the community, or an experience that Chessie and I have had individually, but that does impact our family and our family culture. Yeah.
So we're really excited to start sharing these kitchen table conversations with us. So you can start to get to know Andre and I and um, kind of how we work and process and what we'll be able to bring to the table to help you in Multicultural Family Hub. So, like I said, we'll be opening the doors to our online community, Multicultural Family Hub, in June. And we'll offer group coaching there, monthly workshops, inspiration, and also the kitchen table conversations will be hosted there. So you can find us there as well. But we wanted to start by just giving these to everybody. I think that the more we can share stories, the more we can learn from one another. And I know that these stories will be helpful and impact your life and give you some amazing tools to create the family culture that you want and the connectedness that you want with your children and your partner in the future.
We look forward to building this community with all of you. And so thank you. And we can't wait to share stories and be in community. Thank you.
Okay, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.